Hey guys, what's going on? Third Street Reactions here. We're back. I'm Shane.
Zach.
We're back with Rebels, Season 1, Episode 13. It's cool that we're doing Rebels because we're also watching Andor as of now. You know, we just finished Episode 4, 5, and 6. So all this is kind of going on at the same time. Literally, I looked it up. There is some stuff going on about the same time. Yeah. So last episode, man, Ezra was doing his lightsaber training. He wasn't being very good, and he blacked out.
Because he had the helmet on.
Yeah, the old helmet. But he blacked out and had some vision of Senator Travis.
Yeah, that he was in trouble.
Yeah.
And he had a lot of faith in Travis, and so did, was it Hera?
Yes.
And they come to find out that he was an imp agent.
Yeah. Yeah, she figured out a little before. Well, he never figured out at all until he essentially told them.
Yeah.
That they use that little, you know, his little help signal to lure in. That's essentially what they did at the Jedi Temple.
Yeah.
Until Obi-Wan and Yoda reversed it. Ezra was adamant about helping him out because of he's looking for his parents.
Yeah.
And do you remember what he said?
I don't remember what he said.
He essentially said,
you mean Travis?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said they were dead.
He said they were dead, yeah. So we did talk about that. Go check out that post talk. And before we jump into this, if you want to support us, leave a comment down below. Tell us how much you love Rebels. And also check us out on Patreon for full length and early access reactions. Let's jump in. Hey, full length, thanks for coming to our Patreon. We appreciate it. We're going to start Rebels, Season 1, Episode 13. We're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. Where is that? Comes in Naboo a little bit. But it's probably not.
Of the Imperial March.
Yeah. Nice little scene.
Oh, no shit.
Yep.
The Tarkin action?
Yeah.
So you see, this criminal cannot be what he claims to be, and I shall prove it.
Nice. I was wondering what the setup was for, playing the Imperial March.
Yeah.
Everything and the formation of the troops.
Yeah.
I'm making for town. Order our unit.
That's that asshole.
We'll box them in.
Yeah. Kind of his Cockney accent. No, the melons. That's a wild move right there, dude.
Crazy.
You do it on your motorcycle? What the fuck? You know?
Told you that would work.
You're finally getting the hang of this. There's hope for you yet.
Nothing like a woman to encourage a young man's spirits, huh?
I know. He's like an actual motorcycle. Kanan's.
What? We're gonna send out some kind of inspirational type messages? Exactly.
I was joking.
I was joking.
What are you thinking? Now, are you in?
Count me in.
Oh, yeah.
There are whispers of this alleged Jedi in the streets. In time, such whispers might spark belief in something other than the strength and security of the Empire. And that, gentlemen, is something I cannot have.
Cut their heads off.
From now on, failure will have consequences. Agent Callis, you will dispatch probe droids to every known location of insurgent activity on Lothal. We will discover the whereabouts of these criminals, and we will make examples of them.
Yeah.
Putting his foot down to begin with.
Yeah. The fear doctrine.
Mm-hmm. The power of fear. The spectacle of fear.
Yeah.
I said be optimistic.
5 minutes is optimistic.
3 is better.
Hey, you can have it good or you can have it fast.
All right.
Truth.
Let's
Yeah.
get out of here.
Mechanics Creed.
This is in general. Look, they're right fucking there. Thing is useless.
We need to move.
It does have to see you, though.
Well, I know, but you think with those goddamn bug eyes,
He's figured.
all over it.
Like, remember, like on Empire, like it had it.
Well, it still saw them.
Yeah. Beast tame.
It's not that easy to take him down and fall in order.
Hell no.
I could have blasted it and gotten that result.
Yeah, but then the Empire would suspect something was up.
Good thinking, Padawan.
Actually, you're right. Yeah.
It's touching
Yeah.
when you two
Damn, I was thinking, well, it's still messing up, but it got the little loft cat on camera.
They don't like her back.
I need to look up the history of.
Let them believe they still possess the element of surprise. Lure them in, and we shall be waiting.
As you wish.
It's funny. I feel like it's something Anakin or Vader would do.
And remember, I want this Jedi alive.
Your faith will be rewarded.
That one line probably cost $2,500.
What's with you?
Nothing.
Let's take a walk.
I always love those benches that they have
Right.
on the ships, dude.
All of us have lost things, and we will take more losses before this is over. But we can't let that stop us from taking risks.
We are the ride-on, boy.
Yeah. By the way, there's Rhydonium is mentioned a lot in this show. That's for the barrels of Rhydonium.
With
When they-
Lando.
What's that?
With Lando.
Yeah. And I think when...
Oh, yeah, on that planet with the goddamn things coming out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Never understood it until now, trying to teach it to you. I guess you and I are learning these things together.
What I love is he never really made the rank of Jedi. He just was a Padawan that grew up and...
He's a rogue.
Yeah.
Not in the negative sense.
Yeah.
We're the few.
Yeah.
Such a great fucking speech.
I know. I'm
I need to
getting
go back
goose-
and rewatch it.
I know. I'm getting goosebumps actually thinking about it.
You're here. You're right here. I do not like her speeder design.
See that?
It's like a scooter.
Dude, did a speeder just blow up?
He's hauling something, so maybe by the intention.
Chopper, install the spike.
The chopper's doing all the fucking work.
It's like R2. Yeah, spikes. You know, in the KOTOR game, you get spikes to hack computer terminals. Remember?
Yeah, I barely remember.
Yeah. So
It's been so long since I played that fucking game.
So I think this is the first time you hear about it, and it's mentioned in the live action or a cartoon is, you know, the spikes. It makes sense that they would have spikes too.
Yeah.
Really going for that old trilogy school, aren't they? I think it works for the Tarkin episode. Dude, what if you just got shot?
I don't know. Yeah.
We'll get you another gun!
I feel like those lasers would be like shotguns.
I'll give it a cannon.
Yeah, like essentially, yeah.
Same situation, same ending. You lose.
I don't think so.
Oh, I don't think so. Get moving.
Figure it out.
Yeah, good fighting.
We're full of surprises.
Fun, I'm full of surprises. Shoot the ships, like the ones on the ground too, you know?
The lunges, man.
That was like a shotgun blast.
Sir, we have a problem.
Explain.
It appears the insurgents have gained control of the tower's transmitter.
We have been called criminals, but we are not.
You do not know what it takes to win a war, but I do.
This isn't over.
No, it isn't.
Those tendrils, man. Just thinking about them in the bedroom. It's like, there's shit going on.
Full length, go back to the YouTube channel for the discussion. That was a
Yeah.
reaction. What do you think,
Do
dude?
you think they're like extrasensory organs, like nipples? You know what I mean?
I don't know, I imagine.
I know a nipple's not an organ, but it's.
Yeah, I don't know. I know there's some lore
Like
on
it's
it.
just Kanan latching onto those babies. You know what I mean?
I know they're essentially hair, but they're more sensitive like antennas. But I don't think they have any kind of real abilities. They're lecus. Actually, they're not called lecus. I think Twi'leks are called something different. Maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird to think about. And they're always portrayed as these very attractive women.
Yeah, and
Like,
ugly
always.
as sin men.
Always.
Yeah.
But just those tendrils, man.
Yeah, because I'm kind of in the weird alien shit myself. But she has such a good-looking face and nice voice.
Yeah, we know who.
Yeah.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
And her live action, too, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that being said, what do you think of the episode? Like just the feeling of it before you discuss your notes.
No, I thought it was good because Tarkin, he was very dominant in the episode. It was kind of a flex on the Empire's part.
Yeah.
It's like, look, this shit's getting out of hand, and so he came there, he flexed. Now he didn't win the day.
Well, I mean, he didn't, but he did. I mean, in his eyes, like Kanan might be worth it.
Maybe, but at the same time, I mean, it's kind of like the cells that people experience in Afghanistan and things like that. From what I've read, I mean, that's why they're divided into cells.
Yeah.
Now, where they would be more effective as one cohesive unit under one leader, let's say.
Yeah.
In terms of, you might think the overall objective, which is how things develop over time. But those cells, you eliminate one, you're not stopping the whole body.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
and that's one thing he mentioned was they're not united, and there are ones that are more brutal.
But he also said, though, that they're not a threat because they're not united.
Yes, and this one, they're more benevolent.
Yeah.
So we also we obviously know Luthen and Saw's out there, and different cells that are in the canon that aren't in the shows. Like they're
not benevolent.
Yeah, they're not as benevolent or not benevolent at all in some cases. Or, like obviously Saw is the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not united, not yet. So, no, I thought just the feeling of the episode was good. It was a good, like the mood of it was nice and dark for a cartoon. Good moments.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it just had me thinking though. You're talking about in the reference to Andor and that rebel movement, and they're basically it's bringing the rebel leadership, is galvanizing that. Mm-hmm. And an unexpected pleasure is Mon Mothma's development.
Yeah.
And her sacrifice, her loss, and like what's forging her into what later on becomes more or less the leader of the entire movie.
Yeah, I'd be excited to see her in episode 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's 6, right? That's what she's in, not 4.
Yeah, she's in 6 because she's giving the speech before the Battle of Endor.
Yeah. And I mean, just to watch that movie and see all her personal sacrifices, and think, it all started when her and Padme and a few other senators were in that room trying to create the signature of the 10,000, and Palpatine just automatically vetoed it.
Yeah.
That's when they're when Mon's rebellion pretty much started. In the books, I think it makes it clear that she's also kind of doing it for Padme. Okay. Padme is one of her close friends, confidants. They both believed in the same things.
Yeah.
They both believed in a republic. Padme was supposed to be there with her. Obviously, she died somehow. No one knows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I thought it was great, and just obviously, I just it was a fun, dark episode, I thought. So I did go to StarWars.com, look at some stuff, and honestly, it's kind of self-explanatory, but Tarkin was wearing kind of General Veer's get-up.
Well, and he has to have protective clothing on, I would assume, in the field.
Yeah.
So he's got the helmet on and everything else, protecting his vital organs and his head.
Yeah, and I was talking to Buddy earlier about just how much of the Wild Wild West the Outer Rim is. Like a lot of people don't understand that the Republic didn't really have a say in what was going on out there. It was like a no man's land.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you get a feel for that very much. Well,
they always talk about it, like it's always a thing, but they never really do a very good job of showing the difference.
Yeah.
It's always just like, well, it's the Outer Rim. But they always display the Empire as this overwhelming threat.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if you're this big of a threat, the Outer Rim is like, you're not showing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a kind of a fallacy of Star Wars, which they have to give the good guys room to win.
Yeah.
And I understand that. So there has to be an Achilles heel. but they have not done a very good job cinematically anyway, of explaining that while the Empire is a threat, that the Outer Rim, like with Jabba, for instance, and everything else, so they're not showing that they're vulnerable out there.
Yeah,
they just show it just all takes place out there.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that the Republic itself didn't even chart all of the Outer Rim places. They're still doing it. It's not really into the Clone Wars where the Separatists are starting to create allegiances with these planets. In reality, they're just trying to mine some of these planets for minerals that they need for the army. I mean, the Republic also is doing the same thing, not to mine them, essentially. But they're trying to make sure that these
prevent them from...
these newly discovered planets, and they're not even connected to the Galactic Republic in any way, or they're completely undiscovered. And then that's honestly when a lot of these places get routed, is because of the Clone Wars. And now the Empire, as he said, is, they're trying to flourish into the Outer Rim because the Republic kind of, they just didn't go out there.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool that they mentioned that. But I think that's pretty much all I got. I mean, we talked about it a little bit in the pre-talk, but there are rebel cells. It's not just 4 or 5 people, and then we have episode 4.
It reminded me of something. Do you want it good or do you want it fast?
Yeah.
Something that, what's her name? Sabine said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, and I don't know who the original quote came from, but there's good, there's fast, there's cheap. If you want something good and fast, it's not going to be cheap.
Yeah.
If you want something fast and cheap, it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
If you want something good and cheap, it's not going to be fast.
It's like a really smart way to say that, too.
Exactly.
Anyways, you got any final notes or anything?
I don't. It was cool to see Tarkin. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, Steve Stanton played his voice in the Clone Wars and in this.
Of, Peter Cushing.
Yeah.
In that role, and his relationship with Christopher Lee.
Yeah. What do you think of the way Steve Stanton, who played him in Clone Wars,
he did a good job.
He aged him up a little bit for this.
Yeah, I thought he did a very good job.
Yeah, I thought so too. And
he always has a kind of, there's some amount of air to his voice.
Yeah.
Like almost, it's not. I wouldn't call him snobbish. In the sense the way they normally depict him, but there's something very just like cutting, but at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it, but.
Well, I mean, to me, it sounds like almost like a snobby British man, but because I know who the guy is, he's menacing.
Yeah, well, there's a charm to his voice, but at the same time, it's a I wouldn't call it a devilish charm because I usually associate that with someone who picks up the ladies. It's like this.
Yeah.
He's got this kind of just like you said, a menacing kind of.
It's like if you turn it to a degree.
Didactic kind of. Like it's almost imposing.
If you turn it like the knob like a couple degrees over, it'd almost be like this fatherly voice, but because it's turned over a couple degrees the other way, it's scary. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's like very imperative. It's very
insistent.
Well, not it is insistent. It's a voice that is was authoritative.
Yeah.
And in a way that is not. Like the way that he talks is more how that authority is carried out.
Yeah.
So I think it works very well, and the voice actor did a great job.
Do we ever see Chopper hack into a computer terminal using his internal components?
I don't know that we have.
I don't know if we have either.
One thing I will say though, before we lose the subject with Tarkin, you know how he kind of has that flirtatious ship with Leia.
With Leia a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, charming to the last.
Yeah,
and you don't really see a lot of that.
No, you don't. It shows
it's
that
always just this kind of solid, icy appearance, and you don't see him in kind of any particular, even in the Clone Wars, any kind of human element to him.
No, not really. It's like Clone Wars. They were doing like a very important mission, and here he's coming down to lay the smackdown, verbally and physically.
Yeah, and in Rogue One, you kind of see him being petty. I'm taking command of this battle station effective immediately. Like that.
Yeah.
He's exercising his authority, but they don't really show him being anything other than a force.
I think in episode 4, he's already like the guy.
Yeah. And
he knows he's in like a winning position with Leia. So I think and because she's like, we never see him talk to like young pretty girls. That's so he also has a way. I mean, you got to think about. He rose through the ranks, like in the Republic before it was an empire, and you have to be able to talk to people.
Yeah.
So he probably knows how to talk to people.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's a shame that we never really get that side of that character.
Well, I imagine the books, like the one that you read, probably talked about that a little bit.
Normally, they never really gave a lot of indication. Like, it's usually kind of the calculating side of him.
Yeah.
Like he's riding with Vader and Palpatine, and you don't really see. Like, it did talk about his meeting with Dooku.
Yeah.
During, the Clone Wars.
In the book.
Dooku, yeah, because Dooku came to his planet.
Yeah.
And was trying to convince them to join the cause.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it was cool that they included that in that book, obviously because of their relationship in reality.
Yeah.
And it's great that they honor that. I thought that was a really nice touch.
I I was wondering was, and I already kind of answered it in my head. I mean, in front of everyone, officially, the Jedi are dead. But behind closed doors, we got to get this Jedi and kill him, or we got to get this Jedi.
Yeah.
Because on principle, they're dead. Because you know what I mean. So
There's hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't want any hope.
No.
No. Anyways, yeah, I'm glad the character's here, and obviously he'll be in it for a little bit. We'll see him.
Well, he's a great alternative to the fact that they don't always want to use Vader or Palpatine.
Yeah, I mean, they can't have Palpatine or Vader come down doing what he's doing.
No, he's a great alternative to all that. He's a great face for the Empire.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have Vader all the time, otherwise he loses his imposition. He loses his power on screen. When he finally does show up, it's like, oh, fuck, it's Vader.
Yeah.
So you know it's serious.
Yeah.
I mean, Palpatine can even have more moments than Vader.
Yeah, because he can... Yeah, you're right, because he could be doing not Vader... I mean, he doesn't have to be just killing people with Force lightning. He's the fucking Emperor.
Yeah.
So he could be just talking to people.
Exactly. So he can have more moments than Vader can. When Vader shows up, it needs to be... Obviously, with Rogue One.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he showed up more than at the very end.
Yeah.
But he only had, 2 scenes?
Yeah, essentially. There's a scene where he's talking to Krennic, and then there's a scene before the end where he says, prepare a boarding shuttle.
Yeah.
When he was just talking, prepare a boarding shuttle, and then, people are like, why? And then he does the thing at the end, which is one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life.
It's fantastic, dude.
Yeah.
It's one of the most powerful scenes in Star Wars.
It really is. Just... I loved it so much. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Because it literally just gives you... You don't have a lot of badass Vader moments on screen. Now, you have badass Vader saying things.
And yeah.
And you have him in his confrontations and things, but you don't have him just being strictly a badass.
Yeah, you got it in the books. You got it... Well, now you've seen it in Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
But, never on screen.
But Rogue One was, probably positively the most badass Vader moment.
Yeah, I think it had to been. Yeah. I mean...
in cinema.
In cinema, by far. It's not even close, I think. You know?
Yeah, he just... the way the guy's just take it, trying to hand off the information, and they're all struggling to just get that information through.
Yeah, that's Sam Witwer doing that. Funny enough.
Yeah, he did a very good job of portraying his badassery, plus showing the rebel movement's dedication.
Yeah, they all died to get that information out.
Yeah, the struggle, them just passing it on.
Andor and everyone in that movie, made that happen.
Yeah, so it was very, very well done. So Gilroy.
Yeah.
Did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
And this episode was very good because it takes you beyond, this is the children's Saturday serial cartoon.
Yeah.
To the Empire.
Yeah, they'll behead you if you don't do your job, and
yeah.
Even Callus and I'm sorry, whoever maybe the Prime Minister, that chick, they were kind of they were a little taken back.
Yeah. They were surprised by that just brutality.
I wonder, and I don't know, you know what I mean, but I don't know if it ever talks about it anywhere. I wonder how he feels specifically about the Inquisitor.
About him being force sensitive and his use and his practicality.
Yeah.
I guess if he's always serving as an instrument to the Empire, he may not feel any different. I mean, I know that he knows about Vader.
Yeah.
And what he's being used for.
Yeah.
So his thing is this element of that threat has been captured and utilized and made use of for the Empire. Yeah. So to him, he's probably, I imagine they have it all under control, and he's the one in charge. Yeah. So, and I understand that, for instance, episode 4, where he's giving Vader orders. Yeah. So there's a level of respect there between the two of them. Yeah. Because obviously he's not technically in charge of Vader, but Vader's technically not in charge of him.
Yeah, they're both just in charge of the Empire.
Yeah.
on behalf of Palpatine.
Exactly. So Tarkin is the face of kind of the machine, but Vader is,
Yeah.
that's Palpatine. Like, you might as well be seeing Palpatine in front of you. So you know that. So, but it's cool to know. I mean, so I imagine
it's a cool relationship.
Yeah, and I imagine he views it in that respect, that this is something that's been captured, tamed, and weaponized for the Empire.
I know part of the allure is not knowing, but I just wonder strictly how Vader feels about Tarkin.
I don't know. He might just he might admire him as a military man.
Yeah, I wonder if he thinks about, like, I mean, we know. We know that he knows them from the Clone Wars. We know that he thinks about the things that Anakin thought about a little bit. Like, oh, I know this person before. I wonder how that feels to him. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Well, he may not focus on that very much.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like, Vader seems myopic.
What do you mean?
You know, myopia is where you're like tunnel vision.
Yeah.
So
Singular, you mean? Like, is that what you mean?
Yeah, tunnel vision. Like your singular focus.
Okay.
Like Vader probably, and especially to kind of develop that sort of the hatred and maintain that hatred.
I imagine you have to cope in some specific. You have to cope in that way. You can't think of, like, what could have been. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And he probably with Tarkin, he probably feels like, this guy's a loyalist. He's loyal to the Empire.
Yeah.
And he's efficient.
Yeah.
He's strong. He's a man of strong character. Whether or not you agree with this character is one thing, but he's a man of strong character. I just love because that was a 3-episode arc, just using the carbonite. You know what I mean? It was in the Tarkin arc that they had to smuggle themselves in by being in carbonite. Yeah.
And then the idea that Vader wanted to do it
later.
to Han. Yeah. And then he threw the line in, like, this facility is crude. Did he say this is a crude facility, so we have to test it first?
Yeah.
So just the idea that...
We'll test it on Captain Solo.
Yeah. And the other facility, like, they're like, we had to make sure it was a lot nicer than the one in Bespin.
Yeah.
Because of that line.
It's great that they had the edits. I appreciate the web that is Star Wars.
Yeah.
And all the little strands that are connected and how you have to make that work to capture the magic.
Like I saw in
opposed to
Onderon,
Flaws.
just mentioning it, yeah.
Yeah,
Just worked.
Saul seems like he's a character he's pretty singular.
Yeah, oh, he for sure is.
Yeah, but I appreciate him for that. But I like that.
Just like you said last night, when he's Vader for the rebellion. He's singular, but in the opposite direction.
Exactly. Just like he's brutal, he's violent, but it's for the rebellion's cause. Now, whereas they may not agree with him principally or morally, doesn't change the fact that he's someone out there that's actually producing results.
Yeah.
And the same with Vader. I mean, he probably produces results. I'm sure he had his failings, I understand, in the expanded universe and whatnot.
Yeah.
But he has his failings. He can't always win, otherwise the rebellion would not be.
No, yeah. I mean, Palpatine wasn't happy about kind of what happened with the Death Star.
Yeah.
But, he understood it wasn't all on Vader, but, he wasn't happy about it.
Yeah, naturally.
Yeah, but, okay. We had a long talk. It was just a fun episode. I kind of forgot, like, in my head when we were doing this, Yep.
Your car's here.
Okay. All right.
I want to turn this off.
Well, guys, love you. Talk to you later.